We started out with Pep, we moved to Klopp, and now we're going to Amorim? Yes, today we are looking at something called the 343, the Amorim Show. Ruben Amorim took over Sporting at CP in 2020, I believe. So we're going to take a look at a tactic geared towards specifically his tactic or his style of tactic. So there is a small description on the Steam Workshop, which is where I got this from. It is from JamesBonga, is the person on the Steam Workshop who created it. But the only other thing besides a small description is what looks like a thumbnail of Amorim dressed in military paraphernalia. But it says Sporting Club de Portugal-based tactic, possession and goals. This is the Amorim Show. But we are going to see if this is a Liverpool show, Aston Villa show, or Ipswitch Town show in just a minute. But the tactic itself starts out with a sweeper keeper in support, central defenders all the way through, one in cover in the center spots, but defensively on the other sides, a complete wing back in attack on the left and the right, box to box next to a central midfielder, inside forward on the left in attack, and a winger in support on the right, and an advanced forward up front. It does not look like there's any actual individual instructions for each position, but balanced mentality in possession, you can see, is underlap on the left and right. Focus play through the middle. So usually we see them on the wing side, but this is playing straight through the middle. Passing directness is shorter. Tempo is slightly lower. So a lot of what we're used to is reverse now. Work the ball in the box, mix crosses, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, take short kicks, and distribute it to the center backs. That's fairly typical. And then high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, standard stuff on these as well. So how did it do for our three teams, however, of Liverpool, Ipswich Town, and Aston Villa? We are going to start out with the Premier League sides. And Liverpool at 77 points, slightly lower than what we usually expect them to see. Aston Villa with 66, sixth place, higher table-wise than what we've seen before. Not quite higher than what we've seen points-wise, though. While Liverpool didn't do all that well in the league compared to what they were expected to do, however, EFL Cup final 4-2, they got their first trophy at least against Manchester City, beating Man United, Carlisle, Crawley Town, and Newcastle along the way. They got to another final, unfortunately getting the crap kicked out of them by Manchester United 0-4 in the FA Cup final. However, trophy number 2 does come at the expense of West Ham 3-1 in the UEFA Europa League final. That's a pretty nice one. Only one loss to Milan, and it's a doozy, I will say, but you kicked the crap out of them 5-1 on the return. Alisson making 62 appearances, a fantastic set there. 27 goals for Jota, Salah with 26, 21 for Diaz. So again, the front three are just lights out. 19 assists for Szoboszlai, fantastic work there. Alexander-Arnold with 17, 15 for Rabo. And then just average rating through the roof. Szoboszlai, Jota, McAllister all doing a fantastic job. And even Diaz tying with McAllister. Unfortunately for Everton, they did not have the same luck. They lose out in the EFL Cup 4th round 0-1 against Manchester City, and then against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup 3rd round 0-1. However, they do completely destroy Fenerbahce 5-2 in the Europa Conference League final. So, trophy number 1 right there, but I mean a fantastic run, only 3 draws, very well done. Squad-wise, Martinez not getting close to Alisson, however. Goals, though, 27 for Ollie Watkins. Diaby and Tielemans with 13 and 12 apiece. Assists, 18 for Matty Cash. Diaby with 16. Only ones in the double digits, though. Interesting. But a few players in the green, which is great to see. Digne with 7, 13, 12 for Matty Cash. Overall, you'd like to see them higher, but, I mean, not too bad, I guess, compared to where they ended up. Data Hub, attacking-wise, not generally what we've seen from before in a lot of the tactics we've already covered. They do have some strong attacking numbers. You just like to see them a little bit higher than, and we're used to seeing them a little bit higher, almost Premier League tops. Defensively, they've got pretty good coverage, and as you can see, very good defensively. And if we move to Aston Villa, pretty much the same. Defensively, a lot less, and the numbers attacking-wise are fairly less, but still a really good coverage on the attacking front. Well, in the Premier League stats, while Liverpool and Aston Villa aren't at the tops of any of these charts, they are up there in pretty much everything except tackles won. So defensively, again, not all that great. However, although Liverpool did say that they were pretty good, but everything else is just attacking bound and very well done. And a lot of this is going to be the exact same for the player stats individually. Jota with only 14 goals, though, in the Premier League, all the way down in 7th to 8th. Trent and Szoboszlai with most assists. But player of the match awards, best pass completion, a lot of the other attacking side of things, they're not here. Most dribbles made, you do have Diaby in there, which is nice to see an Aston Villa player. Tackles won, nobody. But the rest of it is just no one. Switching things over to the championship side of things, Ipswitch Town do come in 6th, which means they're in the playoffs. However, you can see they did not get promoted. 21, 18, and 7, 81 points, 108 goals, leading the league, not handily, 106, but still doing really well attacking-wise. But if you go to the playoffs, you can see they lose out in the semifinals against Leeds, 4-1 on aggregate. Ouch. Schedule-wise for Ipswich Town, out against Newcastle, 1-1 in penalties in the EFL Cup third round, not too bad. And then out 1-3 in the FA Cup fourth round against Manchester United. And then, of course, as we move to their squad, 30 goals for George Hurst. Now, that's where you see him normally. 25 for Broadhead. Assist-wise, 21 for Davis. Burns with 11, and those are the only two in the double digits. A fair good amount of players in the average rating green, though. 7-3 for Jackson. Davis for 7-2-8. Overall, I would say, yeah, you got some good numbers, no doubt about it. Norwich ties Ipswich Town, 109 goals. So that comes from some playoff experience as well. Fewer shots, though. You're in there. You're probably in a lot of these lists, but just low down. No tackles won, unfortunately. But overall, not too bad. Player stats-wise, you do have goals there. 28 for Hurst, Broadhead with 24. So nice to see 1 and 2. Most shots, same. George Hurst is up there with a fantastic number. Most assists, Leif Davis and Brandon Williams are all in there. Most player of the match, of course, you get some. No best pass completion, though. You've got dribbles made with Brandon Williams. Tackles, nobody. Key passes, Leif Davis. Most shots as we've seen. So overall, this is one to take a look at. Again, if you like this style of tactic and this formation, it's a lot more defensively on the side. It almost looks like an Italy tactic to me. But overall, you can see it didn't do all that well for Liverpool. Aston Villa not doing too bad. But again, this is just a sim. I've done nothing in this. If you took control and did your own tactical changes, your own shouts, your own training, your own transfers, you could do a heck of a lot better than these 3 teams. So with that said, I am Stefan FM for the Football Manager blog channel saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.